Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Um, so we are back to talk Real Housewives of Potomac, season 10, episode 10, and it's called Blunt Truth. You know, get it blunt because both of them had their launches and their pop-ups for their um, marijuana business for Eddie and Wendy and for Stacey. So it's called Blunt Truths. Um, Season 10, Episode 10, Real Housewives of Potomac. So this episode, thank God, it doesn't start off where whatever the other one left. Because it seemed like for like 2, 3 episodes I was having to say that. But this episode starts fresh. Okay, a fresh scene. And this whole episode actually was a boring episode to me. So my review is probably going to end up being short because some of it was just like, okay, yeah, whatever, pass, you know. Um, but before we get started though, just go over our housekeeping real quick. Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 says there's allowance for fair use of copyrighted material for such purposes as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research as examples of activities that may qualify as fair use. So it starts off with Giselle meeting with Wendy at the Mercedes dealership because Giselle says that she wants to purchase a lease. She said her lease is up on her vehicle that she has now, a G wagon, and so she wants to lease a electric vehicle because she's is conscious about the environment and the glaciers and stuff like that. So she wants to be a considerate, purposeful, conscious consumer, which I agree 100% because I do the same thing. I recycle when I can. I recycle plastic bags, recycle, with the trash. Even when I go grocery shopping, I use my own recycle, my own bags. I bring my own bags. So I can certainly appreciate that because we have to take care of the earth. And I mean, that's commanded to us in the Bible. We are supposed to take care of the earth and the environment. That's why I don't understand with these MAGA and people in politics people who don't believe in global warming and people who say, oh, that's just fake science. And then at the same time, they say that they're Christians and they go to church and they believe in the Bible. Well, if you believe in the Bible, it says in the Bible to take care of the earth. God commands us to take care of the earth. I mean, it's in Genesis at the beginning, So it's like you can't pick and choose what you want to follow in the Bible. Either you're going to follow every single aspect of it or not. So I find it interesting to me how some of the most conservative organizations in this country are anti-environment. They pass laws and regulations that don't help the environment. So I can go on, but we can talk about that in our political corner. But for now, let's just, I appreciate Giselle, and I support her cause. So they're test driving the car. Giselle's like, was trying to figure out how to get it started. And so basically, Wendy and Giselle and the salesperson get in the car, so she's test driving it. She's kind of speeding, and in the car, Wendy and Giselle, they're talking about what's her name, Monique, because Giselle told her that she's gonna try to meet up with Monique and kind of see where Monique's head is at, and see what Monique has going on, and see if they can maybe reconcile and make amends because now that she's back on the show, obviously they're gonna be around each other now. And the last time that Monique was on the show, her and Giselle had a really heated, bad reunion. and Monique was in a very dark place because she came for Pastor Bryant and all that stuff with the binder. So, and then also briefly while they were in the dealership, they talked about Stacey as well. Wendy says Stacey's not a bad person. She just likes to copy. Whatever she sees that she likes to copy, and I agree with her. Stacey is a copycat. She copies people's hairs, people's clothes, people's business ideas. She just likes to copy and paste. So, and it's not that I'm not a fan of Stacey, but Stacey, I'm sorry, she is a shady character. So I agree with Wendy when she says Stacey. She's not a bad person, and she's not. She's just a copycat, and she doesn't have anything that's really original. So then Giselle in her confessional says that Stacey is a big fat liar, and I agree with her once again. Stacey is a liar. Stacey is a copycat. She just does not know how to, dance to the beat of her own drums. So, but she's not like, but she is. It's weird because she's not a bad person. That is true. She's not. But did she tell like white lies and fibs? Yes. So it's hard to figure out what category to put Stacey in, but annoying would be a category. For me, she annoys me. So annoying would be a category that we can put her in. So Giselle says that she's gonna sit down with Monique and talk to her and see, in her confessional, she said if Monique is the same Monique from 5 years ago, then she doesn't want to have anything to do with her. But if Monique has changed, then she's open to maybe having a work relationship with her. Next scene, we have Stacey and her friend AJ. They meet up somewhere to have some drinks, and then of course she orders a beer that's it's a German beer. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a German beer. They sit down to talk. So she's telling him about the girls and how they've been coming for her and stuff. And it was funny because, she told him Tia has been coming for her. And he said, "You gonna let somebody come from across the pond and come for you?" And he was like, "You need to get them together." And so at the launch of Shiloh, whatever, um, he tells her, she pretty much needs to check them, and she needs to come for them the same way they're coming for her. He's like, you're from the D, and then she was like, "Oh, I don't like to, to be confrontational with somebody. I like to, I'm not that kind of person." And he gave her that look like, "Girl, please." So he told her, she can get with the best of them. So if they're gonna talk shit about you, you need to check them. Don't let Tia come from across the pond and read you like that. So she's like, okay, yeah, okay. But I mean, AJ, he looks familiar. He looks like I've seen him in one show or another. I can't pinpoint where I've seen him at, but he looks familiar. And then when I was looking at his face, I couldn't figure out if he had makeup on or not because his cheeks looked chiseled and contoured. So he looked like he had makeup on, but it was a kind of makeup that was settled. So like a soft bead. And I was here for it, okay? Whatever he had on. I couldn't help but keep looking at his face, trying to figure out what he had. And then, so that's that scene. I'm going to move from that scene because it was, there was nothing there other than them just sitting down talking about the girls. And he told her, like, you need, they come for you. You need to um, read them back. My thing, though, is, like, Stacey has no problem reading them. Like, she does come, like, if they throw shade, just like when KK told her something, when she said something about her husband, and she was like, yeah, but you don't have one. That was a good, quick read. So, I don't feel like Stacey does not know how to handle her own. She can. She can hold her own. Stacey can hold her own. Then Tia called Stacey to tell her that she will be coming to her event. She told her thank you for inviting her and that she will be there. And okay, that's that. Next, we have Ashley She goes to this arcade place with her little boyfriend. So she's dating this young kid named Josh. I don't know how old he is. I'm not gonna call him a kid. A young man. She's dating the young man named Josh. They're at the arcade, and she's pretty much telling us like she's used to dating older men who are wealthy and who take her out to eat and spend money on her and fly her out, fly to Vegas, go overseas. And this young man seems like someone that he doesn't have. It seems like the way she was talking that he doesn't have that much money, and that sometimes she's the one who has to pay for stuff when they go out. And then she sits him down and she just pretty much tells him that their relationship has ran its course. She says she's has two kids, and she's been married and divorced, and someday maybe he wants to have children, and she doesn't know if she wants to have any more children. He's never been married. So basically, like, we're not on the same playing field. And then, and she talks to him about his finances, and he was like, "You don't know my finances. You don't know what kind of money I have." And she's looking like, "I do, and you don't have any." So that's what she didn't say that, but that's how she was looking at him. So basically, she breaks up with him. Long story short, she breaks up with him because financially he's not where she wants him to be, and she can't see herself being in that relationship. Kudos to you, Ashley. Now y'all know Ashley gets on my last nerve half of the time, but kudos to her because why stay in a relationship that's not serving you, Um, and then also everything she said, she's right. Financially, she was with that old dirty ass, nasty ass man, but he was wealthy, or is wealthy. He's wealthy, and so she lived a soft life. And then also, she's right. She does have two children already. She's been married already. And then 2, 3 years from now, if that young man wants to have kids and she doesn't want to have any kids anymore, she needed to break up with him. Okay, she did a good thing. She did a good thing, and I applaud her. And then also now that Candy and Todd are getting a divorce, and how Todd is like trying to take some of Candy's money and stuff like that, money that she had prior to her marrying him and stuff like that. That was a wise idea because we all know Ashley has some money now from her divorce from Michael. We don't know how much. I've heard like some people say she got $20 million. I don't think she did. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some digging and some research to see if I can find information how much Ashley received from her divorce settlement. I don't believe it was $20. I mean $20 million. $20. $20 million. I don't believe it was $20 million. But she received something. She received some kind of million. She has something. So to have this young man who ain't got no money and is broke, and let's say she ends up marrying him, and he comes and takes her to court and try to get half of her money when he divorces her. So I'm glad that she chose herself. She chose herself. So kudos to you. Shout out to you, Ashley, for that. So basically, long story short, she broke up with him, and he was like, "Okay, well, can I walk you out?" And she's like, "Yeah, I would love that. Bye." Next, we have Giselle and her blue dress meeting up with Monique. So they met up at a nice restaurant. Her and Monique was dressed, she was dressed nice, but it was casual. Um, Giselle was dressed like in a blue dress. Looked like she dressed herself again, did her makeup again. Giselle's a beautiful woman. But like we say at every episode, she be looking a hot mess, but she's a beautiful woman. Her house is paid for. Her kids are in college, so that's all that matters. At the end of the day, she's still winning in life. Okay, they meet up, so they talk, about the issues that they've had in the last 5 years. That reunion was hella nasty. It was so bad. You could tell Giselle was hurt by Monique in that reunion because some of the stuff Monique was coming at her with, Giselle didn't really rebuttal. Like she just let Mo have her thing. And so they both agreed that, going forward, that they're going to talk to each other. If they drag each other or have something to say negative about each other, she said they're going to talk about it first or afterwards, or after they probably drag each other. They're probably going to drag each other on fake for the show or in the press and then call each other and be like, girl, I just had to do that for, for TV. It's not even like that. So they hug it out, they made up, they leave together. So next we have Greg with KK's mom. They are ring shopping for KK, and then Angel, she meets them and she joins them. Again, I apologize, guys, because every time I meant to say Angel, I'll accidentally say Angela, but I meant to say Angel. So we don't know what he does for a living because um, he was looking at rings that are almost $1 million, and so they were helping him, shop for a ring for KK. So I don't know. Her mom, her gorgeous mom was there. So then when the lady, the sales lady, when she said, well, it doesn't matter how much you pay or which ring you get her, she'll be happy with anything you get her. And then Greg said, yeah, she'll be happy with whatever ring I get her. And you can, and then her mom had the look on her face like, no, she wouldn't. Like her mom wants him to buy her like a $500,000 ring or $1 million or $2 million ring. Like her mom in that moment, in that small moment, was gonna low key giving gold digger vibe. The way she was looking, she wants him to spend a lot of money on a ring. So for some reason, she gave me gold digger vibe right there and there. But nevertheless, okay. Next scene, we have Ashley hanging with her sister, her half sister. Her half sister is going to be going to University of Maryland, and she basically was just letting her sister know, I'm here for you, whatever you need. I'm here for you. Growing up, her mom didn't have a lot of money, and so when she went to college and when she was growing up, she said her uncle stepped in and helped, financially. And so she said that she takes care of a lot of people in her family financially, and she's blessed that she's able to take care of people in her family financially, and that she wants to take care of her sister. And she told her sister, I'm always going to be here for you. If you need anything, don't hesitate, to let me know. And then she also shared with her sister that she broke up with Josh, and they show a clip, a flashback where her sister was telling her that Josh wasn't cute. I agree with the sister. Josh was not cute. So good thing she got rid of him. Next we have Eddie and Wendy at his pop up for Happy Eddie. And then when they, obviously it's like another shop, right? So they go to the shop, they set up Happy Eddie and the products for Happy Eddie. Wendy says she normally doesn't join him when he does his pop-ups for his product, but she came with him this time. And then it was funny because then they show you the next thing, they show Stacey across town on the same day doing her pop-up for Shio. And so, and then she tried to make it seem like it was her company, like that she started from the ground up. She made it sound like it, like she got it out the mud. She didn't get it out the mud, you guys. She partnered up with an existing company, and this company just gave Stacey her line. So basically, it's an existing line. It's an existing company, a company with their own chemist, their own marketing team, their own sales team, everything, the whole business plan. And then what Stacey did was just partner with them, and they gave her line of just two strings, and and then they're gonna be doing all the marketing and everything for her. And so basically, she gets a cut of that. But technically, at the end of the day, it's really not all her company 100%, something that she got out the mud. She just partnered with people. But this whole time, she was like selling it to us like it was something that she started from the ground up, out of the mud, and she didn't. And this is why I say Stacey, the thing is, she lies a lot and she misleads people. Like, she misleads people. She manipulates situations and stories. And so she had her pop up on one side of town, and Eddie and Wendy had theirs on the other side of town. And then Wendy and Eddie, nobody showed up. It was just them two. And then for Stacey, you had Jossie and Tia and Ashley go to her event. And Stacey said that she invited Giselle and KK. They both, in their confessionals, they showed them in the confessionals. They both said, hell no to the no, no, to the no, no. We ain't coming. F that B. So Giselle and KK didn't show up. So then at Stacey's event, when Ashley came in, her and Ashley get into a little argument. First, Ashley noticed that the dress that Stacey had on, Ashley noticed that it's the same dress that she had on 2 weeks ago. So she brings that to Stacey's attention, and Stacey, just fake and phony. And then production, they pan into like another outfit that Ashley had on, and then Stacey had the same outfit. So basically, she copied Ashley twice. And then, of course, the Happy Eddie thing, like, she's not original. This girl just likes to copy and paste. And then, so then her and Ashley are arguing. So then her and Ashley stop arguing. They all go into a room, which is Stacey, Ashley, Tia, and Jossie. So then now Tia and Stacey they get into it. They start arguing because Stacey caught herself trying to confront Tia about the other day when Wendy, Eddie, Tia, and her husband had went out to eat, and when they had her on speakerphone, and she said that her husband Timoon or Tebow or whatever his name is was leaving out that morning. But then when they had her on speakerphone, she said, "Oh, he just flew in." So she lied. Because he told her he was, at the swimming pool, they said he was leaving that morning. And then at the restaurant on speakerphone, she said he had just came in. So that's a lie. Stacey lied. They caught her in a lie. So all Stacey does is lie and copy and paste. And I'm not about to waste my breath and waste my time talking about Stacey because she's full of shit. She's full of shit. And I'm so sick and tired of every single episode. I always have to keep talking about how Stacey ain't shit, especially when it comes to her lying. And she's not a bad person, but she's just a flat out liar. And she's the type of person that lies and manipulates in the situation to get ahead or to be seen in a particular light. And I don't like people like that. And no, and then I saw somewhere where somebody was like, "Oh, she don't tell big fat lies." No, she doesn't have to tell big lies. Small lies, she tells small lies that add up. And they just add up and add up. So when they add up, they can be big fat lies. And so I don't have time or the patience for that. So her and Tia get into it, and then Tia basically was trying to tell Stacey about herself. Stacey got upset, and she told her that her thing was that Timu wasn't ready to be around Wendy and Eddie. So she said it was none of her business to go back and tell them what she had said. Okay, I'm gonna say what I said last time at the when I did the review for the last episode, the episode where when Timo said he didn't want to come. I forgot which number it was, but whatever episodes it was two. It was either one episode or two episodes from this one, right? At the end of the day, he's a white man from Germany, and this is what I said: he's a white man from Germany. This cast is predominantly black. I don't care what anybody say. He's probably racist. Yes, he's married to Stacey, who is a black woman, but she's a black woman that's stiff. She's a stiff black woman, and I mean stiff. The way her movements, the way she, like no, she doesn't have no seasoning. She don't have no hot sauce in her bag swag. Okay, she's the kind of sister that white men like to marry, especially white men who are racist and still marry. Um, which doesn't make sense. I know, it doesn't, but it does exist. It does exist. There are some racist men that marry black women, and they still don't like black people. And it's like, I like you, but I don't like the rest of them. It's like, I don't like your mama and them. You know, it doesn't make sense, but it exists, and that's what he gives to me. That's what he gives. So, because there's no reason for him to not meet the cast. The fact that he refuses to meet these people, the fact that he refuses to meet up for lunch, the fact that he doesn't want to be around them is, I'm sorry. And maybe, okay, for whatever reason, They try to pan and say maybe it's because at the reunion when they got into it with Stacey, maybe he doesn't like them for that. Okay, that's fine. It could be for that too. He doesn't like them for that. But he could also be prejudiced. He's from Germany. I mean, for crying out loud, Germany. And I'm not saying all Germans are racist. I'm not saying all Germans are racist. But Germany does have a history of racism and the Holocaust and the whole thing. So I wouldn't put it past him is what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised. So at the end of the day, Stacey need to keep it real and just be look. He don't like y'all motherfuckers. He don't like y'all. He don't like nan one of y'all. He doesn't want to be around you guys. So stop asking about him. Stop asking about him. That's what she should have did, but she didn't. So when her and Tia got into it, guess what she did, y'all? She kicked Tia out. She told Tia to get out of her event. She kicked her out. Stacey said Tia likes to pretend that she's prim and proper, but really this is who she is. Which I was like, okay, what is she? What did she do? Tia did not do anything. She was just calling you out on your lies, and she was telling you that you know your stories are not adding up and you're not consistent, and you lie, Stacey. You be lying. Stacey be lying. Okay? You know how Carlos King calls Mia, Mia be lying. Carlos, you need to call Stacey, Stacey be lying. That's he needs to change the name to Stacey. So basically, they get into it. She kicks her out. She gets up and she tells her to get out and leave, which was I thought it was tacky of Stacey because this is her event. You have people sitting here looking at you crazy. You have these people that you partnered with, and you first of all, Stacey, you are a liar because you gave us the impression that you started this gummy line from scratch. From like I said, like you got it out the mud. What you did, you just found a company, you just lent your name, and then they did everything for you, the marketing, the creation, and then she talking about she working with a chemist. You ain't working with no damn chemist. That chemist works for the company, and you just lent pretty much just your name and the fact that you associated with the show. So that's a big fat lie right there. So at the end of the day, child, I'm gonna end it here because this is where it ended because she kicks Tia out. But I hope like Tia and them get her together on the next episode because I'm sorry, I'm done with Stacey. She's gonna have to come correct on the next episode because I don't like how she kicked Tia out because it wasn't even a good look for her business. Forget the fact how she did Tia. That was rude. That was very rude. It was in the words of the great Nene Leakes. In the words of the great Nene Leakes, that was rude and nasty. That was rude and nasty. So, and it wasn't professional. And she had those white folks and the her business partners and the customers. Everybody was gagged, and folks were clutching their pearls because she was over there just acting a goddamn fool. Anyway, that's it, y'all. That's it. That's all for this episode. It was a boring episode and it was short episode. And get down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. What did you think? Did you think Stacey was rude and nasty, or did you guys think that Tia deserved to be kicked out of the event? I don't think Tia deserved to be kicked out. Not the way she treated her. So, um, like the video, subscribe, so you can be notified when we upload the next video. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.